What's your favorite scary movie?
We have such sights to show you.
Monsters!
All you have left is my desire.
My name is Frankenstein!
Batman's gone mad!
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
See this? This is my boomstick!
I ate his liver with some fava beans last night. This is
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It's alive! It's alive!
Here's Johnny. I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash your brains.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror.
Welcome to the debauchery.
What's up, all you horror movie loving fuckers? Welcome back to another episode of Fright Flick Fuck Marry Kill, where we watch horror movies and then we get on here, talk some shit, and then we let you know if we'd rather fuck it, marry it, or kill it. Hey, on this week's episode, we got us a brand new one, and it's brand new to me. It is a 2024 film. I say it's brand new to me because this one's been out in theaters now for a while, but because I am not a people person, I do not like being around people and going out, in theaters anyway. I didn't see this. Most 99.999% of the movies that are, when I say new, it's because it hits the streaming service and then I watch it and then I talk about it because I refuse to go to movie theaters. Because people annoy me. And this week, we're talking about Longlegs, brand spanking new 2024. It hit Amazon maybe last week or the week before. And most of the time, that's where I get, when I say new, it's because the streaming service picks it up or Amazon has it where I can rent or buy it. And that's what I do. But so this week, 2024, Longlegs, and we're going to jump right into this thing. I want to save all the housekeeping shit and all that till after I'm done because, some people show up here, they just want to hear what I got to say about a movie. They're here for that, and I get it. There's, y'all just want to hear me talk some shit about a movie. And the handful of y'all, the few, the proud of the Fright Flick family, y'all are here for that. This nugget of information I'm going to give about this movie. I know last week's episode, me and John, we said we were going to be covering Martyrs this week, but I put it out on Instagram, and if you follow along on that, you would have known that my sister-in-law, Joe, she's like about to do that birthing thing, about to birth a new little member of the fucked up family. She's right there on the edge. Just like any minute, like she could like sneeze and water break, dams down, broken, everything is time to go. So we weren't able to cover Martyrs this week. So John hit me up. I told him no worries, I get it, gotta do that birthing thing. But so I was looking for this one has been on I wanted to watch it. I kind of pushed it to the back burner. It's like, I'll get to it whenever. But then when John canceled on me and wasn't able to do it, I was like, well, shit, it'd be a good time for me to watch Longlegs and then talk about it. Well, I say what I bought Longlegs through Amazon and watched it today, actually. And I'm recording this. And I think this is, what day is this? Wednesday. And so watch Longlegs. That's what we're going to talk about. We made it through another week, family. If you're listening to this, wherever you are, if you're in the future, like our good friend Lucy in Australia or somewhere, like it's Friday here, but it may be Saturday there, whatever. We've made it through another week down. We've made it. So this is that part of the week where we all, we grab our chairs, we gather around, we go get our favorite drink. And right here, people, it's with us every week, the Gentleman Jack. And so pull up your chair. We're going to talk some shit about a horror movie. And so before I get into it, though, because on this show, we like to celebrate anything. We're a small little shit show that a handful of people out there tune into every week and listen to us. But there's a few, the proud, there's a few of us. So when we get certain things, the same way we got it set up to where once we hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, we're going to do our first ever live show on YouTube, to where me and John just going to get on there and we're going to pop the bottle of this Frank Sinatra Gentleman Jack behind me, and we're going to just, whatever happens on that show happens. We're going to talk a lot of shit and whatever. It's going to go live. And so that's when we get to 100. We like to celebrate we baby step here, And so when we get things that like comments on the show and shit like that, I want to share that type of shit because I don't take that shit for granted. I like it. And so we had this a review on the website this week, and I think it was this August 30th, so before the weekend. You know what I mean. But we had us a review left on the website, frightflickfmkpodcast.com, and they left us a 5-star, 5 out of 5. And we appreciate that type of shit because, hey, we know we not everybody's cup of tea around here. We know this. So if somebody gives me a 5 out of 5, you just as fucked up as we are. And so I gotta talk about it and give her a little shout out to Horror Chick 87. That was the name when they left the review. Horror Chick 87. 5 out of 5, people. Love this podcast and listening to Jay, yours truly. Basically, they finally caught up, so they're going to restart all the episodes. Now, I refused to go back and watch the beginning of this shit show when I started on my own. I was like by myself. And so I don't even go back and watch those, but hey, feel free. But hey, I appreciate the Horror Chick, and I appreciate the love. I appreciate the 5 stars. Like I said, welcome to the fucked up family. Everybody grab your drink. We're going to give us a little cheers. Horror Chick 87, part of the Fright Flick fucked up family. And so yeah, everybody take a sip. Hold on one second. Gentleman Jack break. Thank you. Now we're going to jump into Longlegs. Like I said, I got this off of Amazon, bought it, watched it today, and we're going to give you a little IMDb about this bad boy. I don't watch trailers. I don't watch movie trailers. I still have not seen a trailer to Longlegs, even though I watched it today. I don't like to watch trailers. A lot of times I'll go back and watch them after I've watched the movie, and I totally forgot to do that before I got on here and pushed record. And I have a good reason for that, family. There's a very good reason. I got into my Gentleman Jack a little early. And so some of the normal stuff I would have done didn't get done, like watching the trailer after I watched the movie. Didn't watch it. So yeah, it's Gentleman Jack's fault, and we're not mad at him. But haven't watched the trailer. And so I went into this thing like I knew Nick Cage was in it and Miss Monroe's in it. I didn't know that. So I'll give you the quick little IMDb on this bad boy. And this, like I said, right off IMDb, I don't have the smartness to sit down and word this shit, but FBI agent Lee Harker is a gifted new recruit assigned to the unsolved case of an elusive serial killer. As the case takes complex turns, unearthing evidence of the occult, Harker discovers a personal connection to the merciless. Hey, high school education, people, South Carolina, born and raised. The merciless killer and must race against time to stop him before he claims the lives of another innocent family. So like I said, had no clue of what this thing was about. I tried to avoid, I seen people leaving whatever reviews and shit of it. I've listened to other podcasts talk about the movie, but I didn't watch it. No trailer, no nothing. Didn't really go into like, Wikipedia or any of the other shit to kind of see what it was about. I just went into it, blind. And that way I get that full, my own opinion of it. And so yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. And before I get into it, Pam, if you've listened to this long enough, I just get on here and talk shit, man. It's just like if you're sitting across from me right now with your favorite beverage, and I'm telling you about a movie that I just recently watched, and we're just shooting the shit about it. That's how we do it here. It's my opinion, my fucked up whatever opinion. I say this about all movies. Do not watch a movie because of whatever I may say about it. I may talk a lot of shit about a movie and say it's the worst thing ever seen, whatever, but I still tell you at the end of the day to go watch it because it's horror, and we should all just love the fact of horror movies and love the fact that, horror is getting a lot of attention. It's getting a lot of attention with a lot of these movies like this. And yeah, go check it out. I'm going to spoil the shit out of it, family, just so you know. I'm going to spoil a lot of shit. If I know it's new, kind of new, it's been out for a minute. I feel sure most people have seen it. And if you haven't, then, push pause and go watch it and then listen to me talk some shit about it. But my first thoughts on this movie, when I first started watching it, and let me real quick, I will touch on some of the cast. And I'm terrible with names. I'm so bad. I'm bad. And Miss Monroe, your first name, Maika, Micah Monroe. If I'm butchering it, I'm sorry. If you stumble across this somehow in your busy life, I apologize for fucking your name up. But she plays our main character, Lee Harker, FBI agent. And then we got Nick Cage. Nick Cage is fucking Nick Cage, people. What can we say? Nicolas Cage. Just, he plays Longlegs. And then we have the ageless, just Mr. Blair Underwood plays Agent Carter. And I think I did pull up because I was curious when I seen him. Because this dude just doesn't age. I think he's like 60 years old. I remember reading he was born in August sometime, I'm thinking. But like 60. And when I seen him in the movie, I'm like, this dude doesn't age. Like, kudos, Mr. Underwood. Fine wine. And so those are going to be our main ones. There's going to be a mother in here, plays Lee Harker's mother, Ruth. Alicia Witt is also one of the main ones. But I don't spend a whole lot of time on those. If you want to see them, go to IMDb, Wikipedia, whatever. They got the cast there. Then you check it out. This is brand new, people. And the director of this is Osgood Perkins. Osgood Perkins. I got that off of IMDb also. I like his first name, Osgood. I like it. It's almost got like a name, like if you take like a Marvel character or a DC character, maybe it makes you think of like Penguin from like the Batman, like Oswald Cobblepot, and you got Osgood. Like that would be a cool name for like a villain. So yeah, that is our director and writer of this, Osgood Perkins. So back to Longlegs. When I first started watching it, here's a little. It gives you. I like a movie. I enjoy movies that takes me back to like 70s, 80s time because I was born. I'm a Gen X, I think was what we call us. I'm a 70s baby. I may not look it, but yeah, 70s baby. So I enjoy movies that kind of start in that time, and so when this one started off, it had to be in the 70s, and so you get the little girl, and when she, I'm looking when it starts off, you get that little girl out the window, and she's doing her homework or whatever. She looks out the window, a car pulls up, station wagon. I'm a fan of station wagons. I don't know, even to this day. We grew up with the station wagon in our house, and tan station wagon had that old fake wood grain panel shit down the side where it looks like wood grain, but it's just a fucking sticker. We had that, cool station wagon where you could sit in the very back, that very back seat of the station wagon. So, I'm a fan even to this day of the station wagon. That's what we called it. I don't know if there's a different name for people, but when she looks outside, the station wagon pulls up. Snowing outside, wintertime, best time of the year. Love snow on the ground. And at the time when I'm watching it, and this little girl just gonna come like run out of the house, and like, where's your fucking parents at? Because she's young, like maybe 8 or 9, maybe you tell she's young. Goes running outside. I thought at first, like, does she know who this person is pulling up? Is like, daddy come home from a long work trip or whatever. You don't really know. You just see the station wagon. And then she goes up, walks out into the yard, and she's looking at the station wagon, but you don't really see nothing. She's just out there by herself. And then you hear this sound. I think it's something like cuckoo. Makes it like a cuckoo sound, like cuckoo. And it kind of gets her attention. And then she goes kind of wandering around like the side of the house and seeing where that noise come from. She goes in the backyard. And then you see a person walk up, and it comes walking up, and it's like, I thought it was an old lady at first. It's got this like, looks like an old lady. I think it may have like an old lady's clothes on, like dress or some shit. And I think that it says something, and almost like a little girly type voice. And it makes it sound like happy birthday to the almost birthday girl. So I'm thinking like, oh, maybe it's almost her birthday. And then she says something like, oh, I'm sorry. I forget if she said I wore or didn't wear my long legs today. And even then I'm sitting there going like, like, does she know this old lady? I'm assuming like old lady, and then it just kind of bends over. And then you see this creepy ass face that's just fucking Nick Cage. And it's just, and I will say this in this movie, I'm a Nick Cage fan. In this movie, after this movie, I am a bigger Nick Cage fan. He didn't have a ton of parts in this movie. It wasn't like he was like, always in it. It was just like when he came in. But Nick Cage alone is worth the price of admission in this movie. And so when it gets, you see this little girl, and the next thing you know, we finally get like the opening credits, and we get into the movie. And one of the vibes I got from this thing, what it felt like to me was, I am a huge fan of the movie Silence of the Lambs with Jodie Foster. Huge fan of that. I love that movie. And and this one gave me that vibe of like the Silence of the Lambs, because we got the FBI. We got, this lady that works for the FBI, and she is, and that's what I got. Like, they're after this particular killer, because it even shows us like at the FBI offices, and this is jump forward now. So if in the beginning, we see this little girl, and I'm wanting to say like maybe, and maybe it gives the date at some point, I don't remember, but I'm assuming like early 70s, mid 70s, and then we jump forward, and usually when it jumps forward like that in movies, I assume that the little girl in the beginning, and then we jump forward to this little FBI conference room, and we see fucking the girl's name. I just had it, and I totally just brain dumped. Oh, Harker. And then we see her. I kind of, you know how we all do. We put, oh, that must have been her as a little kid. So if I'm seeing 8 or 9 year old then, and then we got somebody in the FBI, we're assuming, I don't know, mid-20s maybe by the time you go through school and then you get selected by the FBI. I don't know how that shit fucking works. So a few years later, so I'm assuming maybe in the, mid late 80s is what kind of where we're at. And that's where I'm thinking. But it shows them all in there, and it's like this in the FBI, and they're getting this brief. There's this killer out there, could be armed and dangerous, white Caucasian male type shit. And one thing in this movie it does, it kind of breaks it down into different parts, because I think before this all kicked off, it would show you like part 1, and then it goes part 2 and like part 3, and where it kind of just flows through the movie. But I instantly got a Silence of the Lambs feel, where we got this killer out there trying to figure out. Now we got the FBI, we got this girl works in the FBI, and I'm thinking like, oh, you're kind of like fucking Clarice from Silence of the Lambs type shit. They go, and one of the first things that kind of, and maybe it's just me, maybe I'm not that smart on how the FBI works, especially in like maybe the mid to late 80s. But it's got her, Harker, and she's kind of like with another FBI guy. I called him Skeleton Face because it shows him in there, and the dude's got a super skinny face, like almost like a fucking Skeletor looking face. So we're gonna call him Skeletor for now. But they go into this neighborhood, and they're basically going kind of like door to door, and they're trying to figure out like get to solve this case. And so they pull up, and the Skeletor, he goes off to like knock on the door. He tells her to kind of wait in the car. Well, she gets out of the car. It's kind of like walking around in the street, a little suburban type town, walking around, looking around. And when Skeletor comes back, he's talking to Harker, and she's kind of like telling him, and she says, and points at a house and goes, "It's that one." And she's like, "We should call it in." Like she had a hunch or like a feeling. And then of course Skeletor, he don't want to be like, we can't just call in like, hey, let's call everybody in. We're going to search this one house because you had a moment, you had an itch, a feeling. And so he's like, no, we're not going to call it in. And he's kind of like, I'm just going to go up and I'm going to go check it out. And so he goes up to the door, knocks on the door. And you're assuming like he's just doing, like they're trying to get some information on this case. Knocks on the door, person comes to the door. You can hear him start talking to them. She's not in view. She's just kind of off to the side of the house. And as soon as this dude starts talking to this person that opens the door, you hear a gunshot. Shoots this motherfucker right in the head. Dude goes down. She's kind of standing back against the house. So, of course, whoever it was at the door didn't see her. And so she kind of pulls her gun, and then she's kind of going up in the house. Now, here's my first thought. You know Skeletor's dead. Like, you seen him get shot in the fucking face. He's dead. So, I don't know. Because, we're so used in today's technology, everybody's got little radio, cell phones and shit. They just be like, hey, dial a button or whatever and call in some backup. Not sure how it worked back then. Did they have a radio in their car? I get it. They didn't have cell phones then, but was there like a radio in the car? A little CB, a little walkie-talkie, breaker 19, let me call in some backup type shit. I don't know how it worked, and I'm wondering, like, did she not go call in some type of backup before she goes up in the house? Because she goes up in the house and she starts looking around. Did you not, maybe it's just a reaction to rust up in there because you need to get this guy before he tries to escape. I don't know, maybe. But I would have liked a little backup. But she kind of goes up in the house, got her gun pulled, she's walking around. The house is covered in plastic. It's like an episode from Dexter, and I'm a huge fan of Dexter. You know how he used to lay the plastic out before he got ready to fuck somebody up. And So house has got plastic everywhere. She's kind of looking around the house, and I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, we're gonna get. I thought this was going to be one of them movies to where they catch the bad guy in the beginning, and then he's kind of like toying with them, and it's going to kind of be like, I want to give you a little bit here and a little bit here, and you're going to have to figure out this before this shit happens. So I'm thinking like we're gonna get Longlegs early, and he's just going to kind of toy with y'all. That's what I thought the direction the movie was going. Then when she gets up there, you see a dude sitting on the bed, his hands are up, like he knows, like, okay, gig's up type shit. And then we get her. It's weird because then they have her after she does this, like she has caught this guy. And then we get a random part where she's just sitting in like this room and they're flashing pictures up on the wall, like, tell us the first thought you have when these pictures, these images pop up. And I would be terrible at a game like that because my mind is all over the place anyway. And like they throwing these pictures up there and she's spitting these words out. And it's almost like a test. I don't know if it's one of these like mind fuck tests that the FBI like to do. But here's another thing that bothers me. Like you are this detailed with this girl Harker. Like you're giving her these fucking tests of like, tell us what you see when this image pops up. And Harker, you can tell they make it out like she's got a gift, like she's got the shine, like she's a fucking FBI Rain Man. And so they're showing her these pictures, she's saying these words, and then there will come a time later in this movie to where they're asking her, like, and you can tell throughout this movie, our girl Harker she's got some shit fucked up in her head. She's got some shit in her closet that has never been unpacked or put away or dealt with. Like you can tell, she's just a little left field, like an FBI Rain Man. And so there comes a time in the movie later to where our dude, Mr. Underwood, I think is Agent Carter, kind of like her boss, and he's asking her about like, hey, what about this and this and this? And I'm sitting back going, oh, now FBI, now you're sitting there going like, oh, but what about this on your file? What about your mother? What about this stuff? And I'm going, did y'all not do fucking homework before you hired her? Before you sent her to FBI school? And like now you're kind of looking at this like I feel sure like you were in the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations. Like y'all are like the top of the chain, and y'all just gonna bring somebody in. And did y'all not do like certain types of little behavioral tests on them when you hire them? Because she's not the most, like when you hear her talk and the way she is, she's not the most like, she comes across kind of slow. She comes across like she's got some mommy daddy issues growing up and she's never dealt with them. But now here you are in the FBI. And so yeah, that's one of the things that bugged me with her is like you see that she's kind of like Rain Man. And then later you hear the FBI like, well, we looked at your file on your mother. Like you're just now looking at it. Did you not dig deep into that shit prior to you slapping her an FBI badge? But hey, it's one of the things caught my mind in my eye. But so and there's a part where they are at a house and it's Agent Carter and I think the lady's Agent Browning. And they're outside the house. They got Harker in the back seat. And this is where you hear him talking to her. And apparently, like, she had done really good on this little flashy picture on the wall, rattle off some numbers. I don't know. It's something they do with smart people, maybe. I'm not smart, so I don't know. But maybe it's something they do with smart people. Basically, she did really good at it. So they're thinking like she's special. Like, is she like a psychic? Does she have the shine? Is she special? Rain Man special? And they tell her about this family that had died in this house. And so then apparently this happened. They end up telling you that there's some numbers when it comes to dates. it being like the 13th and the 14th. It's a lot of numbers. You got to kind of stay with it. You got to pay attention to that type of shit because it can get confusing as it goes on. That for me, it did. Like I said, not the smartest cookie in the jar, never claimed to be, never will be. But so yeah, they're telling about this house. They tell her about these people that have died. They're trying to catch this person. And they get a phone call. They find out there's another murder that has happened. Apparently, apparently all these murders are looking like a murder suicide where the father kills off the family and then kills himself. And that's kind of what the thing is. But they can't figure out why this father is killing the wife, the kids, and then killing himself. They don't know. And they'll get a phone call. They go to this new house that has just they found these bodies. They go in there, and and apparently, like this family's been there for like a good month. It's around the holidays or after Christmas because when they go in the house like a Christmas tree and shit. They go in there and they take them back there. They show the mother and I think the boss man, Agent Carter, and Browning are in there, and Browning's kind of like, "Are you sure she's ready for this?" And talking about Harker because he's like new, like brand new FBI lady, like not had a few days on the job type. Like she's new is what it comes across to me. And she's like wondering, like, is she ready for this? She's like, yeah, she's ready. So then they kind of pull the blanket back, and apparently this family has been in this house for like a month. A month after daddy killed mother and daughter around 9 or 10. Dad kills himself in the garage, but then the bed is apparently supposed to be the mother-daughter, pulls the blanket back, and we get a view of what a dead body looks like a month after. They give us a good close-up, a lot of maggots and shit crawling around, kudos. And so yeah. And so there will come a part to where she does have like a Rain Man shine to her because Longlegs leaves these letters at the scenes, and all of these letters have these weird symbols on them, and they look like some shit you would find on the inside of a cave from a million years ago of this weird language. And so all these letters have that, and then at the end of it, it would always be like in the English writing, like Longlegs is how he kind of like signs it. And so she basically he kind of knows that there's something special about her because she did really good on the pictures on the wall test that they gave her. And so she starts kind of digging into and being able to start figuring out his language in these letters. She figures out I think at one point there's like a Bible involved and like this book called something to hell, whatever gates to hell, I can't remember. And she starts being able to take this information and starts breaking down his letters, and she's able to translate them, all his little fancy symbols, and she's able to translate it into what he's saying when he's leaving these notes. And then it kind of gives something like it once you find out earlier when they're sitting in the car and he's telling her about how these dads are killing the families, then there comes a part where it kind of almost walks you into what's going to happen because Agent Carter, she drives him home because they went out to have a drink after work one night. He drives her home. And as soon as he takes her, he's like, come inside and meet his family. As soon as he walks in and we get his wife and little Miss Ruby, I think is the daughter's name. Right then I'm like, okay, y'all, here we got a guy, we got a wife and a little girl. These three are going to be part of the same shit that's been happening because you just told us that, this dad is killing the wife and the kids. And as soon as he said, let's go meet my family, I'm like, at some point, y'all are probably going to die. And kind of gave that away. After she meets the family, when she goes home and she's back at her house, she, lives by herself. She's sitting at home going through the case files. And I think she calls her mom or her mom calls her. When she calls her mom and the way they're talking on the phone, something just ain't right. I don't know if it's like, maybe mommy daughter just didn't have a good relationship. Maybe there's some issues between them. But just the way the mom talked was just weird to me. And the mom makes the comment to her. She's like, it's almost your birthday. And then she hears a noise. She gets off the phone with her mom, looks out the window, sees something out in the woods, goes outside with her gun. And this is another part that kind of bugged me. She hears a noise, goes outside, sees a figure out in the woods, goes out into the woods with her gun. And she is breathing super hard at this part of the movie, like breathing a lot, like heavy breathing. You just went through FBI school. I think they gave you a little bit of training to where I feel sure there was some cardio in there somewhere, but you just seem really out of breath. And she's like going out into the wood line and she's looking around the woods. And then when she gets out there, she don't see anything. And then they give you how movies sometimes give you that shot to where you just know something's about to be behind you. And they kind of show her house behind her. And she's got these big ass open windows where you can see everything. And in those windows, you see, and she turns and you see something kind of walk by. So then she's like, oh shit, somebody's in my house. Goes back up into the house, gets in the house. I said, got her gun, looking around, don't find anything. Goes back into her little office. On her desk, next to her little bowl of Cheerios that she was having for dinner that night, is a letter, like an envelope sitting on her desk. She decides to open up the letter. And here's where I had an issue. You're just on the phone with your mother. You get this envelope, somebody in your house. Why are you not calling? Why are you not picking up a phone, calling? You're in the FBI. Like, I feel sure if you make a phone call to somebody, you get a lot more attention there than what little old me would get. If I had to call up just like 911, somebody's in my house, you're FBI. And so she sits down. She doesn't call for no backup, no nothing. She's sitting down at her desk. She puts her little rubber gloves on, and then she opens this envelope. And when she opens this envelope, because it says on there, like, do not, it has her name on it, like her name. And it says, do not open until I think it was like January 14th or some shit. And when she pulls the card out, it's like a big number 9 on it, like a birthday card, pulls it out, opens it up. And even then, because on this card, it has the funky writing on it, the crazy writing. It has Longlegs on it, like this one that you've had all. What's going on. You're FBI. You have this in your house, and you don't call nobody. Like, you don't think this is important to, like, maybe let me call in my good buddy Agent Carter. Let me call the boss man in, and let's start looking in the area. Like, let's call them all in. Like, this person was just in your house, leaves you a card, Longlegs name on it, and you don't call in backup. You don't know where he went. He could have damn just been out back in the wood line. You could have called in the reinforcements and maybe tracked him down. But no, she doesn't. That bugged me. I'm just like, why are you not calling anybody? And then it makes you thinking, like, are you in on it somehow? Do you have some type of play in this? And up to this point, I'm kind of into it because I like a good serial killer type thing. I enjoyed those types. I'm a huge fan of serial killer type stuff. I enjoy that type of. I like it, and so I'm into it, man. Like I said, there's some parts where I'm like, what the fuck, but for the most part, I'm into it right now. I'm enjoying it, and so they get a. What happened next? After I think maybe that all after she'd got the phone. This is all after that, maybe. But either way, we're gonna. I don't know, but she figures out his algorithm. She figures out the wording that he's putting on these letters. She basically gets with her boss and says, "Hey, I figured out his little whatever, his algorithm." And it comes down to something like a book called like the Nine Gates of Hell. And she shows him this little symbol, whatever. There's a symbol, there's some numbers, and she's figured out the pattern for this thing for him. And basically they go back to this case. I think it's called the Cameron family or whatever. And this particular case, the dad killed like the mother, and apparently a priest showed up, just friend of the family, priest checking on things. Apparently the dad killed the priest, the mother, and he killed himself. But they did not. The little girl was at school; she was not there. I think her name was Carrie Ann. So now, now we got a survivor. Hold on one second. Everybody, grab your drink. Gentleman Jack break. Thank you. Had an itch in my throat, and so they had this case, and now we got this apparently this survivor, this Carrie Ann girl that um survived because she wasn't there, but now she's in like a mental hospital. And I'm assuming in the mental hospital because she found out that her dad butchered her mother and shit like that. They decided to ride out to this farmhouse where this happened at, because now that she's kind of figured out these algorithms and shit, and there was something he had put in the writing that made her kind of figure this shit out that led her to this Cameron family farm area. They drive out there, her and Agent Carter, all by themselves, nighttime, roll out there, get out of the car, just a little flashlights. And they're looking around and they come across this particular barn because in those words there's some shit about X marks the spot, and they go in this barn to looking around. They see some X's on like the door frame, see some X's on the wall. They followed upstairs in this barn. Then we get a cross that's kind of like nailed to the floor. They pull this cross off, open up a box. And I thought at first it was like a real body because it looks like a little girl in that box. I'm like, oh shit, like a fresh new body. But no, baby doll, like a doll. And when they take it out, they take it to like this, almost like a morgue type thing. They're investigating this doll because it was in this box that basically Longlegs has led them to. And so it looks like the mortician guy to me. You got this doll laying on this like table like it's a real dead body. And he's talking about how, it's very well made and shit like this. And this doll is, and he's got like the head of it cut open because apparently when they did the x-ray, you see a picture of the x-ray, there's like this ball in its head, in the doll's head. He pulls it out. It's sitting there, a metal ball. He's telling them, he's talking about how well this doll's made, a very good doll maker, craftsman type shit. He takes like this ultrasound thing or sound thing, he puts it against the ball, and it's making this buzzy kind of hissing noise. And then you see Harker, she starts having these weird little flashes or whatever, and he's like, and it's this sound coming from this ball that is empty. He basically tells him like there's nothing in the ball. It's like a metal ball that was in the head of this doll. And he's like, there's nothing in it, but it's making this, he puts a little thing on it, makes this weird sound. And then this one I'm going, what the fuck is this? Like, what, I don't, Then I'm thinking, are we about to take a little trip down? Like, are we about to take like an alien type turn, or just some with these balls? I don't know. Um, there's a part to where it's kind of like a, and while they're showing this doll, it shows you like a flashback, kind of like when, and then we get Nick Cage, aka Longlegs, is talking to the doll, and he's talking to her, and he's like, um, basically saying it's very nice to meet you, little angel. And I took this is that Carrie Ann doll that he, and that's what I took that, like he made like this doll because this girl survived. He didn't, and so he's talking to her. And there's a part to where Nick Cage goes to a little store, like a little hardware store, goes up there and he walks in, and they made him up so good. He's got a lot of makeup on, you can tell. Like he's got this kind of like old face, this long white hair, pale white face, like he's wearing a dress, and he's just creepy as fuck looking. He goes into this little store, and I don't remember what he got. He goes up to the counter and he starts talking to the girl, and he starts doing that weird little cuckoo shit again that was from the beginning. And he's talking to her like, "Hey, little angel, what's your birthday?" And then she like yells back like, "Hey, dad, the creepy guy's back." So it's not the first time that this dude has been up in this store. And apparently at this point, no red flags have been waved at all. Like, when she says he's back in the store, this creepy fucker has been there before. And nothing, and when you see him and the shit he's saying, there's got to be a part of you that's like, maybe I should, let me run this, up the flagpole a little bit and see if this creepy ass dude, something just ain't right. You can tell. But and then it's like, um, you get a part that is probably one of my favorite parts in this movie. And you get Nick Cage, Longlegs, driving down the road. Like he's left the little store and he's driving back to his place. And he's sitting there and he starts screaming, like he screams. And he's like, he almost does this, like says some shit like, "Mom, Dad, save me from living," and everything. It's such a good, everything about it was like only Nick Cage could pull that off. Like that one part where he's driving down the road in the car, starts to screaming. It was just nobody else I would want to hear or see do that part. It's just him. And it was one of my favorite parts in the movie. Um, so what comes to find out in this thing? And I wasn't a huge fan of the twist that this thing takes. Because like I said earlier, when the big boss man confronts her about her mother and shit like that, and I'm just, and there comes a part to where Longlegs is going to get caught. Our girl Rain Lady Harker, has the shine, and she figures some shit out, and she goes to the crazy house, the mental place that this Marianne or Carrie Ann, whatever her name was, is there. And apparently, Longlegs came to see her. And all of this happened about the exact same time that they found this doll in the floorboard of that barn. And then that, like the day before, Longlegs came and seen this girl. And now our girl Harker is at the crazy house to basically talk to her to see what she knows. And when they go in there to talk to him, they're like, she had a visitor yesterday, and they look at the log, it's Harker's name on it, but Harker wasn't there. So it's like this Longlegs person knows Agent Harker, like he knows her. And so after she goes in there, she talks to this little crazy girl, and this little crazy girl sells crazy very well. She was very good at just being, you know, creepy and crazy. Because when she's in there talking to her, she actually kind of starts talking to her about, you know, you start seeing flashbacks of when her dad killed the priest and killed her mother. And there's a whole big long story that goes into it. But basically, you know, she does very well in this part. I liked it. I liked how crazy she came across. And because at one point she even tells Agent Harker, because Harker asked her about like who came to see you, and she basically says, you know, whatever it was, I want to do whatever he wants me to. And you know, she makes a comment like, even if he would tell me to kill you right now in this room with my bare hands, I would surely do it. And she's fucking crazy. Exactly why you're in the crazy house. And so when I forget how it went down, they figure out who fucking they get Longlegs. I forget what he did. But at one point, they're going to catch him because kind of like the gig's up. Some shit went down. You get a shot of fucking Longlegs at the bus stop with his luggage. Police cars come flying up. Oh, that's right. That's right. It just came to me. When Agent Carter tells her to go talk to her mother, because he starts talking about, like, you know, your mother made a phone call back in the 70s saying that there was a trespasser at her house. And it was like the day before Parker's birthday, which means the little girl in the very beginning was Harker. Day before birthday, when Longlegs was there and talked to her. And so that's the how they put it together, because she goes to see her mother. She goes up to her room, gets this like little cedar chest, whatever, with a bunch of little old, you know, stuff from when she was little. Because when she went out there in the beginning, she had like a camera behind, around her neck, little Polaroid camera. You take it, little picture comes out, you shake it, and then you get the picture. She had that. So when she gets that box, she finds that picture. She goes to Agent Carter and is like, this is the guy we're looking for. And she basically, it comes to her that she remembers that. Like, that is him. And so they close in on him. He's at the bus stop. Police show up. He puts his luggage down, like, gigs up, Longlegs. We got you. So they get him to the police station. And as they're talking, because at this point, they don't know if Longlegs did anything, because there's no proof at the houses that anybody was there, like Longlegs related. No proof. It's just the father and the family, and that's it. And so once they talk to her, she decides she wants to go talk to Longlegs down in the little interview room at the police station. And then I got another, when this happens, I really like this part, because another where my mind went with this. And if you've seen this movie, maybe if you don't agree with me, then oh well. But she goes down there to talk to him. He's, of course, in the handcuffs, sitting at the table. She's going down to interview him. As soon as she walks in, he is like super excited to see her come in, you know. And when he starts talking to her, and just the way he's talking to her, in my mind, if you've seen the movie with the Batman movie where Heath Ledger plays the Joker, I'm a huge Batman fan. And Heath Ledger plays the Joker. There's a part in that movie where they have caught the Joker. He's in there at the interview table talking with Batman. And that's kind of, I got that same feel when I seen Nick Cage sitting there as Longlegs with this fucking, just the way he looked and the way he's talking. I would like to see Nick Cage play the Joker. You know, I just think that he could play that. That's kind of where my mind went when I'm watching him do this part in the jail cell when she's interviewing him. I like, man, I'd like to see him play a Joker part. just to where he can. I just think he could sell that fucking crazy because he sells this part crazy, fucked up long legs very well. And as she's talking to him, they got him in the police station because there's a part in this thing where he makes a comment about the man under the stairs. And Harker's got this idea that like he's got an accomplice. Like he's not just doing this by himself. Somebody's helping him do this. And that's how they're pulling all this off. And so in the interview room, she even asks him, makes a comment like, who's the man, who's the person under the stairs type shit. And I think at that point he makes a comment like, why don't you ask your mommy? And when she kind of stands up, he just gets this like, he sits up and I forget what he's always saying. He's like, "Hail Satan." And then he starts bashing his head on the table, that police table, metal table, bashing his fucking head to like, kill himself bashing it type shit. And at this point I'm going, when he said ask your mommy, I'm like, holy shit. Is your mommy in on this somehow? And I won't go into the twist of how it all twists together, but I was not happy with what I didn't like the fact that it came down to some fucking devil worshiper type shit. I just didn't like that. I wanted to be just this crazy ass fucked up dude that had this insane plan that he was able to pull this shit off and make these murders happen. Almost like it was almost like a Marilyn Manson to a point because he had this these followers that would just buy into his bullshit and go do it. And that's the way they did this with this. They take these dolls. Her mother takes these dolls to these people's houses and as a nun, and it's like, hey, the church is gifting you these dolls, almost life-size dolls in the image of your kid. And the church just wants you to have this. First off, that's creepy as fuck, in my opinion. Like somebody come knock on my door right now and said, hey, the church wants to donate this big life-size doll that looks like your kid. Here you go. And they just take it in like they're excited. Like, holy shit, we get this doll. And the fact that these dolls have a fucking brain ball that apparently is possessed by the devil, and they put this little devil voodoo spin on it. And when the doll gets in the house, the parents look at the doll, and then the doll just fucks the whole family up. Like the dad looks at it, he's like, fuck it, we got to kill you all now, all because of this doll with a brain ball that is powered by devil worshippers? Question mark. And so I did not like that. I wanted it, and I get it. Movies ain't got, they're movies, not supposed to be realistic. I get it. It's just for me, that's why I said it's my opinion. Go make your own opinion in a movie. That's fine. This is mine. But I didn't like that. I didn't like when it went that direction. Once I seen when they were talking about this metal ball, and I'm like, we got some alien shit. I would have been okay with alien shit. Some aliens fucking with this ball or whatever. But then when it came down to like when I started, you see the part about the book about the gates of hell or whatever, and she talks about Revelation, and then she talks about all this, the 666, all this shit. Then it goes that direction. And so when the whole twist comes out and you realize that it's literally like this person has, Marilyn Mansoned you into where, this ball is somehow has this special possession type shit to once that it's in the doll's head, dog gets in the house, doll, they look at the doll and it automatically fucks them up and dad kills everybody. And that's how they're magically getting away with these murders because after the nun who is her mother, spoiler, is her mother. And it basically the nun is dropping these dolls off. After it's all said and done, she stays there till the murdering's over. Then she gathers up the shit and leaves. And I don't know. I didn't like that twist on it. I didn't. And then it gets to where you find out like why the mother was helping Longlegs. It goes back to that, there's nothing a parent won't do for their kid. So back in the beginning, when we get that view of that little girl, Harker meets Longlegs, then it all kind of comes together to where Longlegs was there to basically kill them. And because he has the mother tied up, and you see Harker kind of watching it, and she's basically pleading, like, please don't kill her. I'll do anything. And then it kind of shows you like we got Longlegs, and then you got like this little fucking ghost devil, whatever it is, sitting over on the couch watching. And she makes this deal like, if you will just let her grow up and live, I will do this for you. So the mother's thing was, I'm doing this so you don't go to hell. That's basically the way she spends it. Yeah. It had the twist was okay. I just didn't, for me, it just wasn't that great for me. I just, a little brain ball, a little brain ball. How did the brain ball work? How did they make it when they put it in the little doll's head to where when they look at it, it just fucks their heads up, the brain ball. I was just not a fan of it. And the ending rolls around. And at first I thought when the ending kind of gives you that feeling like it's going to be one of those types of movies to where, mommy's been doing this shit. Longlegs is dead now because he banged his head on that fucking table until he killed himself. But now we got mother. And is it going to be one of them to where, now Parker is going to pick up the baton and roll with it? She's going to be the next Longlegs type shit. That's where I thought it was going. And it didn't give me that, which I was glad. But yeah, I just didn't like the twist. I was a huge fan of Nick Cage in this. Him as a bad guy, scary type way, fucking loved it. Like I said, I want to see him play a Joker part. I just think he could. That whole scene in the police station gave me that same vibe of Heath Ledger in his Batman movie with, Batman in there. It had a whole lot of Silence of the Lamb feel for me when it came to our girl Harker. And I get it. I don't, like I said, don't watch trailers and shit, but I've seen people on social media. This one came across a lot. I don't really. I think this whole time since it's been out, I've only watched maybe I'm listened to like one podcast because it's one of the ones I enjoy listening to talk about it. And so, but yeah, I wanted to really, I had high hopes. I really wanted to like it. And I really was in the beginning. Once it started and it got going, good serial killer, Nick Cage, creepy as fuck. I loved him. And then you hit me with the brain ball, the devil possessed brain ball that, put in a doll's head and it fucked everybody up. I don't know. For me, that just didn't do it for me. And I wasn't a huge fan of that. Hold on one second, family. Hold on one second. If y'all listening to this on the podcast, I apologize. But if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see right now. I really do the Gentleman Jack here, and when I start running low, I have my refill right here. If you're watching on YouTube, that is the Gentleman Jack. I'm just topping my baby off right here. A little top off. There we go. I was getting a little parched. We're gonna close that bad boy back up. And I do like to have me a little splash of the zero Coke. You might hear it. Oh yeah, that's a good sound right there. Just to top that baby off. We're gonna get right back into it. Hold on. All right. Take me a little sip. Gentleman Jack break. Thank you. Now, so yeah, I did not like the twist with the brain ball. So yeah, and God, it was good up until then, and then it just lost me at the end. I didn't like the twist. I didn't like the brain ball. I didn't like the devil possession shit. So yeah, you had me, and then you lost me. And there was a part of me when I first started this, I was like, it's kind of got there was no part of me in the beginning to where I thought this would be a Mary for me, at no part. Because as much as I love like Silence of the Lambs, when I started getting that Silence of the Lambs feeling for this one, where it's kind of like we got the FBI, we got the crazy killer thing, I just didn't, I wasn't, I knew early on that I would not marry this movie. It was going to be a toss up on whether or not I'd rather fuck it or kill it. And I was having a good fuck with it for a while. Like that was a good fuck. We had Nick Cage being Nick Cage. I liked the look, the way he acted. I was kind of like, okay, we're gonna fuck this one. This is gonna be the fuck buddy. That's where we're going with this one. And then when I got the metal, the brain ball, I didn't like that. The brain ball, you kind of lost me. I was kind of like, and so then I started leaning toward, am I going to kill it? Because it's like, I don't know. Do I want to watch this again? Do I want to, knowing about the brain ball, knowing about the devil worshiping brain ball that makes people go nuts? Do I want to see it again? And then I got to thinking, there's certain movies and there's certain people in movies that have played a certain part that makes me want to go back and watch it again just for a certain thing or a certain person, how they sold it or how good they were, makes me go back and watch it. And that's where I fail with this one. I'm going to fuck it, but it's going to be a rare fuck. It's going to be that fuck buddy that you're going to call up after you have scrolled through the contacts and looked for different ones and nothing's worked out, and so now you're it's getting late, and you're looking to scratch that itch. And so for me, this would be the one that it would be a fuck, because for me it's going to be just for Nick Cage. Just how creepy he was, the way he talked, the way he looked, the way God, he sold that part so good. So I'm going to fuck it just so I can go back every now and then and just watch Nick Cage be Nick Cage, because he's fucking awesome in it. But as far as wanting to watch it because the movie itself to me was that great, no, it's not. I'm going back to watch Nick Cage do Nick Cage shit. But yeah, Brain Ball did it for me. Just wasn't a fan. I'm not mad I watched it. It was a fun watch. I enjoyed watching it. But yeah, it's a fuck for me. A way down the list fuck. Like, I'm going to have to, just pass through a lot of other ones and just like, oh shit, this is all I got left. Okay, I want to watch it because Nick Cage is fucking awesome in it. And so yeah, we are going to fuck Longlegs here. And yeah, that's my opinion on it. That's my thoughts on it. But I tell you every week, go watch it for yourself. Go check it out. Make your own opinions of it. Let us know what you think. And Gentleman Jack, break one more time. Oh yeah, good stuff. Go check it out. Let us know what you think. And after this is over, once I'm done recording, I'm probably going to go and watch the trailer because I'm curious to see, like, I always kind of like to go back and watch, see what the trailer may have given away, what kind of things it may have showed you in the trailer to make you be able to piece it together quicker. But yeah, Nick Cage, you fucking killed it in this one. So fucking good. But Longlegs, we got fuck you, buddy. The old friends with benefits. Down the list. But yeah, that's our review here on Fuck, Marry, Kill of 2024 Longlegs. Go check it out yourself if you haven't seen it. But that's going to do it for the review part. Now, we're going to get into the shit I told you in the beginning, the housekeeping shit. You know, if some of you are here just for the hear me talk some shit about a movie, this is, hey, you know, if you don't want to be here to listen to me talk some shit about just whatever I want to talk about, then, you know, there's the door. Gather up your shit and your drinks and, you know, move on. But some of the housekeeping stuff now. Check us out on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, the X, TikTok, Fright Flick FMK. Go follow, like, subscribe. We're on YouTube. If you want the video version of this, you know, go to YouTube, give us a subscribe, a like. It's not hard. You just click the subscribe button. Don't cost you a damn thing. And then we could get to 100 subscribers and I get to break that bad boy behind me open, that Jack Daniels, Frank Sinatra. And we have us a live party on here. So go follow along. For everybody who has stopped by and listened to this shit show and, you know, take some time out of your day, we appreciate it. You know, we're a fucked up family here. We're a few, the proud. And, but yeah, thank you for spending your time with us and giving us a few minutes of your day. Website, frightflickfmkpodcast.com. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. Everything's there. All the shows and shit like that. If you want to support the Patreon, if you want to buy me a beer, you know, that link's there also. One thing we got coming up soon, because we're about to hit the best time of the year, family, the best time. The fall weather's moving in, the winter time. I love it. I love cold weather. And so I think we're about to open up the online store for a little while, just to, you know, hoodies and stuff like that. With some, if you want to sport some Fright Flick shit, you know, the store's going to come up soon where you can get that type of stuff. You know, if to show that you're not ashamed of being part of this fucked up family. And if you're still listening right now, you're probably okay. You're still here, so you're part of the fucked up few. But yeah, go check us out. I'll let you all know when that goes up. As far as next week's show, I have no idea. Like I said, could be an uncle to another one here soon. If Joe, you know, birth the birthing process of the new one, the new little fucked up family. And but yeah, so John, we'll have to play that by ear. The martyrs thing is still there. Me and John are still going to cover martyrs. We just don't know exactly when. So next week's episode, don't really know yet. We'll figure that all out. There may be a Monday episode, a back to work because Mondays fucking suck episode. We'll see. There's one or two that I've watched and one I may want to watch and jump on there and just shoot the shit about, but we'll see. But hey, I think that's going to wrap it up for this week, people. Come on back next week. Listen to us talk some shit about another horror movie. No clue what it's going to be, but we'll be back talking shit. I appreciate you all. Appreciate the few, the proud, the fucked up family that you are. I appreciate it. Now, this is that part of the episode where I need you all to reach over and grab your drinks. I need you to gather up your shit and put your chairs away and get the fuck out of here.
So you like to listen to people talk about crime, but did you ever wonder why criminals do the things they do? like what makes them tick? My name is Debbie, and I'm the professor at True Crime University. Join me in the classroom Thursdays, wherever you get your podcasts, for intellectual discussions about crime, psychology, and why criminals do what they do. See you there.